Hello students, welcome back to the class. I hope you all done your unit assessment very well. Now we are going to start new lesson from civics, lesson number 8, framing of constitution and its features. You have already learned in small classes what is meant by constitution, how it was framed. Now in this lesson we will clearly learn about preamble, its importance of constitution, how it was framed, what are the pillars of constitution, what are the basic features of Indian constitution. In small classes you learned constitution. What is meant by constitution? Constitution is a set of rules and regulations according to which a country is ruled. Now you are in 9th standard, so you have to learn the present definition, that is any systematic collection of rules designed to govern a country's regime, that is called a constitution. Now we learn what are the importance of Indian constitution. It is the basic and most important document of a country. It is a fundamental legal document according to which the government functions. The laws of the country is governed or based on its constitution. So we can say that constitution is superior to all laws of the country, and the country is governed as per the guidelines of the constitution. It defines the powers of the government and the rights and the duties of the citizens. It also reflects the changing requirements of the people's aspirations, expectations, emotions, etc. So we can say that it is a live and a fundamental document, or it is a live and basic document. So what are the importance of constitution? It is the basic and the most important document of the country. It is a fundamental legal document according to which the country is governed. It is superior to all laws of the country. It defines the powers of the government, rights and duties of the citizens. It reflects the changing requirements of the people's aspirations, expectations, emotions, etc. So it is a live and basic document. Now we are going to learn how the constitution was framed, or the process of framing of the constitution. On 25th March 1946, the British government sent cabinet mission to India. This cabinet mission formed a plan, decided to form a constituent assembly. The objective of this cabinet mission was to frame a constitution for India. The cabinet gave guidelines for framing the constitution. It comprised of 385 members from various sectors belonging to different religion, caste, gender and people from different geographical diversifications, political representatives, etc. Jawaharlal Nehru, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, H.P. Modi, Frank Anthony, Kannaiya Lal Munshi, etc. And it includes some women members also, like Sarojini Naidu, Vijayalakshmi Pandit, etc. were the members of this Constituent Assembly. Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the president of Constituent Assembly. A drafting committee was formed under the leadership of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. The Constituent Assembly met for while 66 sessions spread over a period of 2 years, 11 months and 17 days, and discussed in detail the constitution to be formed. On 26th November, the constitution was passed in the Constituent Assembly. On 26th January 1950, the Constitution of India came into existence. When it was framed, the Constitution contained 295 articles and 8 appendices, but it was amended and it consisted of 383 articles and 9 appendices. At present, there are 12 appendices. The Constitution of India contains our national emblem of 4 lines on top and the national slogan Satyameva Jayate. So it is in this way the Constitution was framed. Now we are going to learn about what is preamble and the importance of preamble. Preamble means preface or introduction. There is an introduction at the beginning of our Constitution. It is the core and important part of the Constitution. It highlights the soul of the Constitution. It verbalizes the fundamental objectives of the Constitution, aims, ideals and principles of the Constitution. The preamble remained unchanged till 1976. But in 1976, the words socialist, secular, unity and integrity of the nation were added to it. So what is meant by preamble? Preamble is an introduction or preface to the Constitution. It is a core and important part of the Constitution. It highlights the soul of the Constitution. It verbalizes the fundamental objectives, aims, ideals, principles of the Constitution. It remained unchanged till 1976. In 1976, the words socialist, secular, unity and integrity of the nation were added to it. It gives a clear insight of the rule of welfare. Now we are going to learn about the importance of preamble. Preamble serves as a compass to understand the provision of the Constitution. It gives proper guidance to understand the framing of any law or its interpretation. It helps us to understand the objective behind the framed laws. It helps to avoid the trouble in the interpretation of the Constitution. It represents national unity and integrity. It represents the national unity and integrity. It is backed by high ideals and goals. So we can say that preamble is the soul of the Constitution. So what are the importance of preamble? First one, to understand the framing of any law or its interpretation. Preamble gives proper guidance. It's a useful tool to avoid the trouble in the interpretation of the Constitution. It serves as a compass to understand the provisions of constitutional laws. Preamble is backed by high ideals and goals. These are the importance of preamble. Now we are going to learn about the pillars of the preamble. The words inscribed in the preamble are sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, a republic, justice, liberty, fraternity, and equality. All these words are highlighted in the preamble. Among these, the three main pillars of the preamble are democracy, socialism, and secularism. These are the three main pillars of the Constitution: democracy, socialistic, and secularism. First is the democracy. In small classes, you already learned democracy. What is meant by democracy? Democracy means the belief in freedom and equality between people, or a system of government based on the belief in which power is either held by elected representatives or directly by the people themselves is called democracy. You already learned in small classes the definition given by Abraham Lincoln. Democracy is a form of government by the people, of the people, and for the people. It's derived from Greek word demos, which means people, and kratos, which means power. So a country's power is not within a group of people, but it is within the people of the country. In democratic India, people elect their leaders through their choice by casting vote to represent those leaders in the parliament. They are given specific time limit. Their period is only for 5 years. The government works under the principle of constitution, so it is known as responsible government. The democratic government is based on liberty, equality, and fraternity, and works to achieve these goals. The Constitution of India gives fundamental rights, principles for political directions, Parliament, Member of Assembly, independent and impartial justice, Election Commission. All these makes India a democratic country. Adult suffrage means the citizens above 18 years of age can give his or her vote to one's choice of leaders without discriminating caste, creed, religion, language, gender, etc. But their name should be enlisted in the electoral list. So under democracy, democracy is a Greek word derived from demos and kratos, which means people and power. Country's power lies rest in not within a group of people, but it is within the people of the country, in which equal justice for people to social, economic, and political, and have equal rights for participation. People elect the representatives and form the government. The duration of the government is for 5 years. The government works under the principle of constitution, and it is known as responsible government. Then all citizens enjoy adult suffrage, which means the citizens above 18 years can give their vote to one's choice of leaders without discriminating caste, color, creed, religion, etc. But it is essential that the citizens are enlisted in the electoral list. Next is socialistic. The word socialistic was added in 1976 by the 42nd Amendment. Most of the provisions of the Constitution, directly or indirectly, show social revolution. Aim is to bring welfare state. So in other words, socialistic means a political and economic theory of social organization which advocates that the means of production, distribution, exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. That is called socialistic or socialism. Now third one is secularism. India is called a secular country. The word secularism was added in 1976 by 42nd Amendment. When we say India is a secular country, it means that India does not have any particular religion. Our country never promotes any religious activity. The country cannot involve any secular activity with religious activity. The citizens has the freedom to choose his own religion. Country cannot discriminate anyone on religious basis. So secularism is the basic foundation and mandatory feature of Indian Constitution. So these are the three main pillars of preamble, that is democracy, socialism and secularism. Now we are going to learn about the basic features of Indian Constitution. The Constitution which came into force on 26 January 1950, our Constitution is the largest, extensive and detailed written Constitution. Now we are going to learn about the basic features of Indian Constitution. There are many basic features are the 14 basic features are the written document, size of the Constitution, single citizenship, the center with a strong federal structure, emergency powers, parliamentary system, independent and impartial judiciary, amendments in Constitution, universal adult suffrage, secularism, judicial review, fundamental rights, directive principles, provision for backward sections. These are the basic features of Indian Constitution. First one, written document. Second is size of the Constitution. Third is single citizenship. Fourth, federal structure. Fifth one, emergency powers. Sixth, parliamentary system. Seventh, independent and impartial judiciary. Eighth one, amendments. Ninth one, universal adult suffrage. Secularism, judicial review, fundamental rights, directive principles, provision for backward sections. In the next class, we will learn all these basic features in detail. Now read textbook and learn what is Constitution, its importance, what is preamble, its importance, what are the main pillars of the preamble. Thank you.